Hi, and welcome to Knit All the Things. My name is Laurel. I'm also known as West Maven on Instagram, Ravelry, and Tier. If you're new, this is a space where I talk about all the things I'm knitting, all the things I want to knit, all things yarn, just all the things. And if you're returning, welcome back, Knitting Bestie. I can't wait to catch up with you. In this week's episode, I am going to share with you some of my year-end thoughts of 2025. I'm going to share some updates with you. I finished sweater that I'm really excited to share with you, as well as an update on the Antique Filigree. And let me tell you, it's been a complete and total disaster and something I'm about ready to frog. So I would like to get your guys' opinion on that because my hands are incredibly frustrated right now with this whole project. So grab your knitting or your project, get cozy, and let's go. Now, we'll talk about what I'm wearing, but before we get completely started, I do want to have a little disclaimer. Currently, we have construction going on in her front yard, and it was supposed to not be happening today, but they decided to show up anyway, which I guess is good, but also it's going to create a bit of an issue for editing, and hopefully I will have been able to isolate my voice and get rid of that noise, but just know that I'm sorry if it is not 100% clear like you guys normally expect from me. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Audria Shawl. This is a pattern by Inez Sang, and I really, really love it. It is knit from a Ching fiber, like a yak yarn, I believe in the colorway. I've actually used this yarn in a couple of projects. But I want to say that it's in the colorway Moody or like Moody 3 or something. And then I used a Knitting for Olive mohair, which was the color, I think, Powder. And then I used I believe a Lola Bean yarn, yak yarn as well, held with I'm not sure the I'm not sure the mohair in this one. I want to say it was maybe a Lamb and Kid, perhaps. Could have been. But I really love how it turned out. I really was thinking today as I was starting to write down all of my knits from this year that I really love this shawl. I don't wear it out. I wear it, when I am at home mostly. One of the beautiful things that I really love about this one is the color work that has kind of like a ruffle is mirrored at the bottom of the shawl with this beautiful ruffle that you create, I believe, with short rows. And it's just a really beautiful, like really warm because it is a yak blend yarn. So it is warm. But it's really cozy and just a nice, fingering and mohair weight. So it's on the lighter side, I would say. And then it has this beautiful lace pattern. And if you were like, Laurel, I don't really do shawls, totally cool. She also has an Audria sweater or pullover, I believe. And I think it would be really nice to knit as well. This one took me a bit, I want to say, just because it has a lot of stockinette. So, you're doing a lot of purling on the other side. But I really and truly loved this shawl so much. I really love how it turned out. I love the colors. I really can't say enough nice things about this shawl. And I was really just feeling kind of lazy. I didn't really want to wear a sweater today, but I did want to feel cozy and warm. And so it really is the perfect thing. Let's talk a little bit about what I have been up to. And let's start, just because I don't know how long he's going to last with us, with this sweater that I knit my dog Danzig. He has another sweater that I knit him. This is the Lucky Dog sweater. And gosh, I really hope I did not already talk about this, but I used 3 random colors, and I thought that it would be really nice to knit him just another sweater. I think I'm gonna make maybe one more because he is a cold dog. Even though his hair is growing out, he had gotten a haircut. He gets cold easily. He really likes to like lay in sunspots and he enjoys wearing sweaters, I think. So I might make him another one. But the kind of fun thing I thought about this particular project was that I randomly picked yarn out of my stash and I thought, what could I possibly make with these colors, and it ended up being that I truly enjoyed kind of selecting random things that I didn't know if they would go well together and put them together for this project. So this is just, again, I don't even know what the colors are because they are so old in my stash, but this greenish color, kind of almost a glow in the dark color, went so well with this. There's like flecks of that color kind of present. And then same for this. It has like almost a bluish, so it went really well together. And I thought his sweater turned out so cute. The one thing I would say, this is the Lucky Dog sweater. It can be found by Sol Salvo, I think. Sole Salvo. It's ridiculous. So this sweater is the Lucky Dog sweater by Sole Salvo, and one kind of thing that I didn't love about this that I could have planned a little bit better was this stripe right here is much thicker, because that's where you do your short rows, and had I thought about it, I had only done one row of this color, and I should have just set it aside and then switched to the next color, but I just didn't plan that one well. Had I done it, I could have been in like one of the other thicker stripes. But for my stripe sequence, in case you wanted something similar, I did 8 stripes of both the purple and the blue with 2 stripes of the like glow in the dark color in between. And I really think it turned out nicely on him. And I tried taking it off and he wanted it back on, so he really likes it, I guess. So that was what I kind of have knit. And then I've been knitting on other projects, but let's talk before we get into like the side projects I've been doing. Let's talk about my biggest disaster to date. So I looked in my like video descriptions and show notes because I don't always take the best notes. And I found that I've been talking about this sweater for the whole entire year of 2025. I've been wanting to knit it. I've had like plans to knit it. I've talked about knitting it so much. And then I finally cast it on, I don't know, a month or so ago. And I've been working on it. And it is the Antique Filigree. This is a pattern by Rachel Ilsley. And here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. So in the actual sweater, there is a center motif. I'm going to show you on this. It's a bit smudged because it's now been in this bag for a long time, but there's like a center motif that kind of looks like kind of a diamond shape or a full flower shape right here in the center of the chest. And I went to split for sleeves, I think, before I filmed the last episode. I had one more row and then I was going to split for sleeves. So I did one more row, I split for sleeves, I knit, I don't know, almost the whole like center panel piece, which was like a couple of inches, you know, 15 rows or something crazy. And then I realized when I set it down that my center panel was like not center at all. It was completely off to the side. I don't know if this was my fault, if I had maybe dropped the beginning of round marker and then didn't know, like, then I didn't pick it up correctly or what. But I stopped because I thought, okay, that's fine. It basically takes up 2 repeats of the pattern, like this amount of space. And so I paused and I went back and I thought, okay, I'll do some sweater surgery. I'll drop down each row and try and fix it this way and then just continue on. And I would have to do that for, I decided instead of having a center panel, which is an option, just to like have all of the whole thing look the same and no center panel. So I went to do that and then it was getting so messy that because it's in the middle of color work and trying to like pick up different colors and all that, it was just looking bad. So I thought, oh, maybe it'll be fine if I block it. And then I just stopped and was like, this isn't the way to do this. So I ripped back. So now we're back to before where we were last time. And I'm so mad about this that I have not knit another stitch. I ripped out so that I'm like in a proper, before you start making differences for the center panel, there is a bit in that chunk that is like everything's the same, and then the center panel things start to change. So I went back to that point and stopped. And I'm really mad. Like I don't know how to move forward now. I'm at a point where if I were to move forward, I'm not doing a center panel. Like I'm not doing it at all. I have zero interest in getting this done with the center panel. Like I'm over that part. So that won't happen. The other thing is I'm mad. I really am mad. I'm so angry about how this turned out that part of me wants to frog the entire sweater and not knit this at all. I looked at the previous thumbnail where you can kind of see me holding it up against myself with my stocking, and I looked at that and I was like, oh, it's really beautiful. Like the yoke is really beautiful. So there's that. I don't really know. Like right now, I just don't know. Like I don't know what to do. I'm upset and frustrated and feeling bad for myself and hard on myself for this mistake. Again, I swear I looked at the pattern and I thought I counted everything out properly. So I don't know how, like, it got messed up. I don't know if I counted where the placement of the panel should be incorrectly, or if I counted the placement of the armholes incorrectly, but like one of those two things or both of those things were wrong. And so I felt just very frustrated and sorry for myself, like I said. So I threw a fit and I've set it aside. I really was enjoying knitting this up until that point. So, like I said, I just don't know if I should scrap it because I have such bad feelings right now about the sweater. If I should place it on hold, if I should frog it and pick just a different design entirely, and maybe that will make me feel better, or what to do, but that's where I'm at. I'm using Diamond Lane Shed. It's a fingering weight. I believe it's 50% Romney, 50% Merino wool for the main color in the colorway Martin, and I'm using a spin cycle, several colors. I'm using, I think this is Flashback, Mizuzu, and Vesuvius Plum right now are the colors that I have. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm angry. I don't know what to do. This has happened before where I leave a project and then maybe I can come back to it with fresh eyes and feel a little bit better. But also, I just don't want those bad feelings, especially because looking back at my 2025 knits, many of them were comfort knits. I feel like 2024 for me, I had a lot of grief that I was dealing with. And so I did a lot of stockinette. I knit so much more in terms of amount. I knit like 20 more things than I did this year. Um, and like big projects. So I'm not feeling sorry for myself in that, but I just was really reflecting like, what is this to me? Is it going to bring me more frustration, which is like the opposite of knitting for me? Or is it going to be something that I approach with, you know, grace and a deep breath and try again? I don't really like to like give up on something. I don't think that it's hard. I just think I made a mistake and I'm frustrated with myself for that. And so I kind of don't know how to proceed. It's not to do with the pattern. It really has to do with me and just, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't the thing. Definitely chime in and tell me what you think in the comments below. I think the next thing I want to show you, I have some more knitting, but the next thing I want to show you is this. I have had, probably last year, I knit, I'm sorry, I did not knit. I spun this yarn and I bought the fiber from Fat Cat Knits, and I'll have the colorways below, but it's like fun, not quite really my colors. Like once I spun it up, I thought, well, I don't know if this is my colors. But this was originally going to be for like a traveler situation, some Andrea Mowry something or another. But I don't know my feelings on it. And I bought 3 braids that I was spinning together. So like taking a bit from each one. And by taking a bit from each one, I definitely eyeballed it. I didn't weigh anything. I just kind of was going off of vibes at this point. And so, like, my first skein is much heavier. I also was playing with the way I was spinning because I am a new spinner. And so, I don't know. I don't know why. But this one is definitely lighter. I finished my second skein um this in the last week or so, and while visually they look similar, like I said, this one is lighter and it's a bit thinner, I would say, ish. It has fluffed up since I first washed it. Like at first I was like, ooh, this is like way thinner. And now looking at it, it doesn't look as thin, but it's lighter. So I don't know if I spun it a little bit more. I mean, it's not woolen spin by any means, but maybe gave it that feel a little bit more, if you will, than this one. But there we have it. I have a third of each of the braids left that I'm going to finish so that I can get this off of my wheel. I have a Daedalus Sparrow, which is a quite small electric spinning wheel, but it does what I need it to do. And I bought extra bobbins for it so that I could do the 3-ply plying and yarn. So that's what I did with these. Again, I just think I want to get it off of my thing. I started spinning the rest of it, and I'm gonna just try to force myself to like sit down and spin a little bit each day just so I can like move it along, because I do have fiber in my stash that really would bring me a lot of joy to spin, and I really want to like get to it. So I feel like if I stop now and don't actually finish these, then I just won't finish it, and I would like to, in case I want to either gift these to somebody or get rid of them, or something like that, make something with it. Either way, but like have it all complete. I really like to complete things. I don't have to complete them, but I do like to, you know, move past things and not like have things sitting in the hanging in the balance and not done. So I am going to work on getting the third skein finished, and yeah. And then if you are a spinner, let me know what you do. I have one quick question for you. So I have the 3 bobbins, and w- one of I just continued, like when I was spinning after I plied the first one, there was a little bit left over of a couple of them. And so I like left them on the bobbin and then like spun for like the second one. And there's still a little bit left over. And so I was going to fill my third bobbin with as much as like visually it looked like the other 2 were, and then split up my remaining wool into thirds so that I can easily, like, I want to maintain this vibe and this look, but I do have one bobbin that's quite a bit less fiber on. So I was going to add a little bit to it so that when I go to ply everything at the end, I will have a closer amount to what I currently have, if that makes sense. Is that how you would go about it, or would you just not do that? Let me know. Anyway, that was a quick question I had. So if you are a spinner or you have a thought on that, I would appreciate it. Okay, that was my quick little spinning update. It's actually quite comical every time that I go to tell you guys about something. Literally a chainsaw or like a rock cutter is on. So sorry. Okay, so the rest of the knitting I have for you guys. I have been working on this vanilla sock for my husband. I bought the yarn. It's Lannis de Nord, and I really have enjoyed it. I'm gonna get to the end of this row really quick, but I've been enjoying it, and I really like the colorway a lot. This is like one of their self-striping ones, and it basically has it repeated twice so that you can make, you know, matching socks. I haven't ever done a full-on cut-in heel. I've done a like fake one where you basically place the yarn on a scrap piece of yarn, like you knit a scrap piece of yarn in and then you continue on and then you pick up from the scrap piece of yarn later, like an afterthought, but not quite an afterthought heel. But I'm gonna try an afterthought heel on these, and I thought the color was really beautiful. And I am nearly done with this ball of yarn. I basically was just gonna commit to knitting until I get to like the toe color, and then doing a toe, and like that's how long the sock's gonna be, and do it twice. It feels like it's taking a long time, but this is way smaller than what I started with, so I don't have much to go, I guess. I really am going to, because my husband's super hard on socks, I have the Jawal Superwash Lang Yarns yarn, and it comes with this like, I don't know what it's called, a thread, like a reinforcement yarn to go with it. And so I'm gonna try that for the heel on this one and hope for the best. Like I really hope that works, because I have kind of ran out of ideas on keeping his socks from like completely falling apart. I also would really like to knit him a pair of DK socks. So maybe that is in my future, I'm not sure, but that's kind of what I've been thinking about. So that was my kind of run around knitting, car knitting, if you will. And then I had a friend who's recently had surgery and a few different things, and then I've had doctor's appointments, and so I went and pulled this out again, which I shared with you guys before, but I'm making a slow progress on it. This is called the Hue Shift blanket. You can get kits through Knit Picks, which this is. It's acrylic yarn. I have made 2 other ones, and they have 4 color options. So I have one that I won't make. It's a pastel color one, but they make really good like couch blankets, sofa blankets, movie blankets for my house. But I've made it this far, so I'm slowly but surely, you know, getting another thing in. The problem is I really was a tight knitter back in the day, and this is going to not, like, it'll be fine, but I'm having to like be very conscious of my knitting, because this one feels quite a bit, just, well, not quite a bit, it does feel a little bit tighter. I'm using the same needle. I'm using a wooden needle, which I don't typically knit with, but I do knit tighter using it, so I thought I would keep with that because that's how I started, just to like, I don't know, make it as similar as I can, but it's just been time-wise, I don't, you know, knit as tightly. But it's really cool. You basically, I think you may knit each color combo twice, but no more than twice. And it really makes it very cool to kind of, you're basically knitting stripes, which is always kind of fun. And then you are, you know, always having a different color combination. So like the main color in this one's like the turquoise, but then you're doing turquoise and cream, turquoise and khaki, and then 2 different colors of brown. But it makes it kind of nice. And it really goes by quite quickly, but I'm ready for this project to be done. So I've just been at least trying to make 1 square a night. I kind of think of this as like my granny square type of project, even though it's knitting. And this again was called the Hue Shift blanket. You can get kits on knitpicks.com, and I think you can also buy the pattern there, but it's just a mitered square. It's not hard. Like, you can look that up, and I'm sure there's a free pattern also for you if you wanted to use scraps, because I am sure if you're like me, we all have tons and tons of scraps out there. Okay, so what I am thinking, oh, and then one other project that I've knit on lately is this one, which I started a while ago. This is my handspun yarn. It was made, it's a 100% Rambouillet, and I got it from Banshee Fiber Arts, I believe. And it's just really pretty. It's like gold, baby blue, a pink, kind of has a rainbow effect. I'm knitting the Stephen West shawl pattern called, I'm knitting the Stephen West shawl pattern called Smock It, but I'm actually not quite following the pattern, which I'll explain to you in a minute. So because this is like a very like almost lace weight yarn situation happening, it is not like as large as like the pattern would be had I used the proper yarn. And so I'm kind of editing how I'm doing it. I believe that I will end up doing about twice this amount again, and then I'll start my decreases so that I have a good size little shawlette to like wrap. And I think then I will call it a day. So this is the pattern, and then at the end you pick up along this edge and you do the Smock It pattern. So I think when you pick it up, according to the pattern, it was like 500 plus stitches. So I will certainly have more than that on my needles in order to accommodate for the way that I'm knitting this. But the pattern itself is really cool. I'm really liking the like rainbow effect, kind of, if you will, the fade effect. And I think that will continue on. I just thought it would be nice. I was going to rip this out and then hold it double and knit something else, but I don't hate it. So this one was in timeout for a long time, and it is now out of timeout, and I've been taking it with me, or I have been just knitting it at night for a little bit. It's basically a quite easy pattern. There's several patterns that kind of look like this. I believe that Andrea Mallory also has like some shawls that the Traveler series is kind of this knit purl combo, if you will. But I think it's nice, and it feels not Rambouillet. Yes, Rambouillet. Is such a cool yarn. I really like it. It's like really super light. It's like super stretchy, bouncy, and really soft. So this was one of my first spins that I spun, and I'm happy with it. It's a 2-ply. I could have probably plied it tighter, and I think I wouldn't have done it this thin. I would have like, knowing what I know now, I would have considered at least triple plying it, if not, you know, quadruple plying, 4-plying, doing a 4-ply. But it's nice, and I like the fabric. I think it's nice and light. It'll be a nice like light color or light shawlette, you know, all the popular little shawlette situations happening right now. It really would fall into that category. So I've been kind of like playing around with that a little bit. I really haven't, like, I'm so mad at that sweater that I don't have a sweater right now. That's okay too. And then the other one that I uncovered that I keep forgetting to like just carry with me besides that blanket is my half and half wrap. I'm gonna pick this up. I'm really committed to trying to get half of it done in the next, let's see, well, let's say maybe in the next 30 days, I could try to get like half of it done, because that will motivate me to get the rest of it done. And I feel like that's not too lofty of a goal, because it is just knitting. It's super like easy to grab and go and not like think about what you're knitting. So it should be one of those ones to take with me, but I'm also gonna give myself permission to like not worry about it too much. So that's been my knitting. I am planning on a year in knits type of roundup, like everything I've knit 2025. If you have any questions for me, let's put them in the description of this video, because I will try and answer them during like that like recap video, if you will. I also am working on another patterns video, so keep an eye out for that. I did create a video recently for using up scrap yarns or your advents. So if you are interested in that, you have not seen that, check that out after this video. Until 2 weeks from now, make some yarn magic.